Hello and welcome back to the channel. On today's tutorial, I'm going to be sharing with you a simple video of how to cut a corset with a caged peplum. So if this is something you like, please hit on the subscribe button. Let's dive right into today's video. So to draft my pattern, I went ahead to mark out my basic measurements, which is my shoulder to bust, shoulder to under bust, shoulder to waistline, and my top length. So your top length should be about 5 inches from your waist. So after I did that, I went down to mark my shoulder divided by 2, and I went down by 1 inch. So from that 1 inch mark, you're going to draw your shoulder slope. So there's no need drawing a neckline for this because we're working for a cheap corset. Go ahead to find your armhole circumference, which is your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. So I'll go ahead to just measure it along this line to have a straight line. After I'm done doing that, I'm going to place my ruler and I'm going to draw connecting down to that 7 inches point. So after I'm done marking that, from my bust line, I'll measure to that point I have, which is my chest line point. So whatever I have, I'm going to take it to the beginning part and also towards the ending part of this pattern paper, just to get a straight line at that point. So I'll go ahead and I will mark my bust circumference on the new chest line, which is 33 divided by 4. I have 8.3. So I will divide my armhole into 2 and come out by half inch. So after that, I'll place my French curve connecting from that point at the armhole to the half inch I came in, and will connect down to the shoulder line. So after I'm done doing this, I'll just go ahead to outline my pattern. Next is to mark my bust span divided by 2, which is your nipple to nipple. Divide it into 2. Mine is 7. Dividing into 2, I have 3.5 inches. And I'll go ahead to mark all the way down to my pattern. And after I'm done doing that, I'm going to go ahead to place my ruler and I'm going to draw connecting a straight line at that point. So after I'm done doing this, I'll be extending my bust span divided by 2, or my nipple to nipple divided by 2, and I'll draw a straight line. After I'm done drawing that, the next thing is to mark my dart intake, and I will be marking 1 inch on both sides. So for a plus size, go ahead to use 1.5 inches. So after I'm done doing this, I'm just going to go ahead to connect all the way up, and I will connect down this way. So I'll go ahead and also repeat this at the other side of my pattern, and I'll connect down up to the under bust. Now I'm going to place my French curve touching my bust line down to the chest line of my pattern, and I'll go ahead to draw out. And after I'm done drawing this, I'm going to go ahead to connect it to the other side of my pattern this way. So this is what I have on this point, and I'm just going to go ahead to use my marker to outline this to make it more visible for you to see. So after I'm done drawing this out, the next step I'm going to take is to go ahead and mark where you want your cup to start. So for this, I'm going to use 1.5 inches above my chest line. You can use 2 inches if you want that to cover very well. And I will rule out a line which will serve as a guide. And next, I will be marking 1 inch at both sides, and I'll connect. So if a plus size, go ahead and use 1.5 inches, or you can go ahead and calculate that. I have a video on how to do that in my other YouTube channel, which is Marquis Closet. So after this, I'm just going to go ahead to connect all the way to the bust line. So the next step is just to go ahead to insert your body measurement. I'm going to mark my bust circumference divided by 4. My bust is 33 divided by 4. I have 8.3, and I will replace this 2 inches dart intake, which is 1 inch at both sides, giving me 2 inches, and I will replace. And after I'm done marking that, I'm going to go ahead to add your sewing allowance. Now at the under bust, I'll mark the under bust circumference divided by 4. My under bust circumference is 28 divided by 4. I have 7. go ahead to replace the 2 inches dart intake and mark ½ inch for sewing allowance. I'll go ahead to mark my waist circumference divided by 4. My waist is 28 divided by 4. I have 7 inches, which is the same thing as my underbust circumference. I'll go ahead and replace the 2 inches dart intake and I'll mark my sewing allowance. At the top length, I'll mark the hip circumference divided by 4. Measure the dart intake of 2 inches here also. Replace it and I'll mark my sewing allowance. So after that, I'll go ahead to place my cuff through and I'll connect from my bust down to my underbust down to my waistline, and I'm going to connect all the way to my top length. So this is what I have after I'm done connecting. I'll go ahead to use my marker to outline it to make it visible. So the next step is to work on the cuff part. So from the chest line, I'll come down by ½ inch and I'll also go in by ½ inch. And after doing that, I'll go ahead to outline this and I'll place my French curve or curved rule starting from that point down to my underbust this way. So this is what I have after I'm done connecting, and I'm going to go ahead to place my French curve and I'll connect down to the upper part of the cup this way. So this is the upper part of the cup and we are going to work on the other side. Now to work on the other side, the distance between your armhole and your bust circumference, divide it into 2 by folding your tape and you're going to go ahead to mark. So from that point, you're going to place your curved rule and you're going to connect down to your underbust this way. And after you're done connecting, go ahead to just connect this down to your armhole, or for some people you can go down by ½ inch after your chest line. But for me, most times when I'm drafting a tube corset or bustier, I like going up by ½ inch at the armhole so that my armhole won't be that low and it won't be too visible. Like, I don't really like my armhole being low, so I'll go ahead and outline my pattern. So you can blend up your darts or you can just go ahead and cut it. So I'm going to cut out this pattern before we are going to trace out the peplum part of this corset. So if you have any question concerning this particular tutorial, please don't forget to leave your question at the comment section. And if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to also check out our other videos. We have other pattern drafting videos on our channel. So after I'm done cutting this out, I'm going to merge this up as one. So I've gone ahead to merge it out or merge it up as one, and here is my cup. I'll keep it aside. So for the back pattern, I went ahead to mark about 1 inch for my zipper allowance, and I'm going to go ahead to place this pattern, the front pattern, on it, and I will trace it out as simple as that. But if you want to go ahead to draft out a back pattern, it is still okay, but this will serve the same purpose as drafting out the front pattern of your corset. So I'll go ahead and I will trace out the shape that I have on this pattern for the back. So this is what I have, and I'll mark ½ inch. This is to get rid of the bulginess at the back of the dress, and I'll extend it all the way up this way. And after I'm done cutting that, I'll unpin my pattern. So this is the back pattern and the front pattern will be on it. So the next thing you want to do, so you're going to mark about 1 inch starting from the center part of your corset. So I placed both together because you're going to have the same curved peplum effect at the back. So here I used 1.5 and I connected it to my waistline, but I went ahead to reduce this later. So looking at what you have at the thumbnail, you notice that the center line is a bit slimmer, so I went ahead to reduce it by 1 inch. So place your front pattern 1 inch, that is after the zipper line. So I'll go ahead and I will reconnect. So I don't know if you understand. Place your front pattern on the back pattern, that is immediately after your zipper line, and you're going to connect. So I went ahead to use my marker to draw this out, and this is what I have. So you're just going to measure this out. It's going to come out handy later when you're actually sewing the dress. Now I'm just going to go ahead to cut this out. So after I'm done cutting it out, this is what I have cut out, and this is what I have for my pattern. Now this is the cup part, and we are going to go ahead to merge the back pattern to the front pattern. So there are two ways of doing this. So after sewing your dress, you can just join up the allowance, or before you actually go to cut join your dress, you're going to pin up your sewing allowance this way. So after you're done pinning it, you're going to go ahead to take measurement. That is the front and back pattern. Pin up the sides together this way. So after you're done pinning, you're going to go ahead to take the measurement round it this way. Place your tape and make sure you have the exact measurement. Is very important for you to do that. So after I'm done measuring mine, I have 18 inches. So 18 inches divided by 2, I have 9 inches on the dot. So you're going to fold another fabric or fold your pattern paper, and you're going to be drawing out your peplum on it. So this is my pattern paper, and you're going to fold it into two. So if you're cutting for both sides, you're going to be having two of these together. So I'm just cutting for one side of this of the peplum. So now that's 18 divided by 2, I have 9 inches. I'll be adding 1 inch to it for turn up allowance, and also joining allowance at the upper part, which will give me 10 inches. So I'll go ahead and I'll mark 10 inches all the way around on my pattern. So you're going to do this until you have like a semicircle or like a flare effect, just like when you're cutting out your peplum. So after I'm done doing this, I'm just going to connect it all the way from the other side to the end. And after connecting, this is what I have, and I'll go ahead to cut this out. And after I'm done cutting it out, I'm going to open it up. So after I'm done cutting and opening it up, this is what I have. So if you notice, it's a little bigger than what we have at the space, because we added extra 1 inch. That is half inch for turn up allowance, and also half inch for joining allowance at the upper part of the pattern this way. So after this, you're just going to join this to the corset by the side. Go ahead, pin the center and pin the rest to the pattern, so you'll be having this peplum effect by the side. So with this, we have come to the end of today's tutorial. Please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks.